A land acknowledgement is an act of reconciliation and respect with and for the First Nations people of Simcoe County on whose land we stand.
So I'm Sam. I'm a grade 10 student at Eastview. I have Onondaga heritage, which is part of the Six Nations Reserve. For the morning announcements, people are already standing and being respectful for O Canada. So I think for them to notice that the land acknowledgement is equally as important as O Canada is really important, especially for truth and reconciliation. Because if they tie in and they realize that they have to be as respectful for the land acknowledgement as they do for O Canada, I feel that's just going to keep building a better bond between Indigenous people and non-Indigenous people.
Ani Bojo, Noatan Kwan Dishnakas, Niashingamin Donjaba, Shikendo Dem, Ernestine Baldwin, the Jogna knows when. My name is Ernestine Baldwin. I come from Niashingamin, formerly Cape Croker, Ontario. My spirit name is Calm Water Woman, and I'm Turtle Clan. Acknowledging the land, I think they're doing it everywhere now, and it really educates people on the traditional territory where we come from, and I think it helps people to know that this land belonged to the Indigenous people before the newcomers came, and that we have really never given up the land. The land was taken from us.
My name is Ava. I'm Ojibwe. I'm in grade 4 at Porterview Public School. When you say things for our land, I feel love.
My name is Cheyenne. I am First Nation. I am in grade 4 at Porterview Public School. When I hear that we are on the land first, I feel respect.
My name is Nolan. I'm Cree. I'm in grade 3 at Porterview Public School. I feel proud when I hear about our land.
This is the land acknowledgement for use in schools daily. Simcoe County District School Board acknowledges that we're situated on the traditional land of the Anishinaabeg people. We acknowledge the enduring presence of First Nation, Métis, and Inuit people on this land, and are committed to moving forward in the spirit of reconciliation and respect.
Anin Kinawaya, Mayingan Dishnikaz, Jeff Monague Ungishin Congo. Hello everyone, my name is Mayingan, that's my Ojibwe name, and I was also called Jeff Monague, that's my Indian Act name. I like the idea of land acknowledgement because it is something that we did historically. It's not anything new, it was actually a protocol. It was a protocol between nations. Whenever we met with other nations within their territory, within our territory, we have done that. We have done that for thousands of years within this territory here. And later on, when people like Champlain first arrived in 1603 onto what became what we call Turtle Island, became Canada, he would have been greeted. He would have been greeted in the same way. We would have used an acknowledgement of land and acknowledgement of territory. It would have been done in the various languages, but it was the same thing. It's part of the formal protocol.
I'm Jonathan Campbell. I'm from Barrie North. I live around this area as well. I'm in grade 11, and I'm also 5 Nations, now 6 Nations Oneida. I think that they should understand that it's not a bad thing. A lot of times people see it and they're like, oh, I have to acknowledge that you were here. What am I giving up? What do I have to do? It's nothing on their part. We want acknowledgement. We want to live in harmony.
I think it's important that we were the first people, and that but we're not mentioned in the history books. I went through the school system and I learned about Magellan. I learned about Columbus. I did not learn about First Nation history. So it's important that they understand that we were the first people and that we had our ways, we had our our territories, we had our relationships with other First Nations in this country. We're not asking for anything other than acknowledgement that we were here.
I'm Hannah Gill, and I am an Indigenous ally. I think my peers should understand how Canada has evolved over time, and with the land acknowledgement, it's all about truth and reconciliation. So it's about how we are forgiving and moving on hand in hand, which I feel like a lot of my peers should do and incorporate to our everyday lives.
Hi, I'm Zoe. I go to Barrie North Collegiate. I'm 18. I think that it's important that they show respect and understanding. And I think that people need to understand that taking an extra minute in the morning is nothing compared to the amount of time that we took from Indigenous people in the past.
So it's nice to see. It's nice to see that it is something that's going to be carried on again and brought in because it's also part of what was recommended in the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. It was part of the calls to action number 10, 45 and 62. You can look those up if you'd like to. It would be beneficial for you to do that because what I'm talking about is exactly what this is all about. Once we have an acknowledgement of land, acknowledgement of our occupation within this territory, then there's a more readiness for us to understand what our relationship is and what our relationship was supposed to be.
My name is Kezia McConnell. I am Mohawk and Blackfoot. I think it's really important to acknowledge that for over 100 years, Aboriginal people have been basically wiped from the history books and disregarded. And now, while it's not action, it is an extremely kind gesture to acknowledge that we are on Ojibwe land right now, and all over Canada we're on First Nations land.
We'd like to acknowledge each and every one of you who take an important first step on the road to reconciliation by joining us in this daily land acknowledgement. May we continue to walk together, moving forward in a good way.